Hello, this is Charles, and we're about to start Chapter 9 of Out of Time. In Chapter 8, Earl and Clyde met with Jenny, and they discussed the differences in the historical timelines and what they need to do to rectify things. And the first step is to track down Avi Zielinski in Poland. So to do that, they're going to need to be able to travel. They're going to need money and documentation. How they go about that is in the next chapter. Stay tuned. Chapter 9. Richard and Alan were in the library, using computers and reading up on the world they were now in. It took a while for them to get the hang of the computer, since the operating system was vastly different than anything they had ever seen before. It seems that computers develop differently as well in this time. Still, the basics should be the same, Richard said. When he finally figured it out, it was surprisingly similar, as long as he stuck with topic searches in the browser. Soon they were surfing historical sites, reading a vast amount of information. The more things change, remarked Alan. You got that right, brother. I'm really disappointed in our British cousins. They made as much a mess of it as we did. Look here, they still conquered a whole continent. The Native Americans aren't any better off now than they were before. And look at this. Slavery lasted 5 years longer. They still had a civil war, but they didn't call it that. A second revolution, all the southern colonies mostly, and it lasted 10 years instead of 4. Over 1 million died. Good Lord. It ended in 1870 and slavery was abolished that year. Seems the Brits offered freedom to any blacks who fought for them, and near the end of the war, most of their soldiers were black. And look here. No mention of both world wars or the Cold War either. But there was a Great War. Yeah, that would be World War I, but it looks like it was much shorter. The Brits had a larger army and they defeated the Germans in about a year. How'd the Brits get that strong? Well, I can't find anything about Napoleon either, so they kept the American colonies, and the French Revolution never happened. The Napoleonic Wars never happened, and the War of 1812 never happened. They just kept getting stronger. When the Great War started, they went in and kicked butt. I guess the Russians never got involved, so their revolution never happened. No Russian Revolution and no America. No Cold War. The Brits are basically the world's only superpower. See, brother, all is not lost. The world is a better place, maybe not like we envisioned, but it's better. It is for now, but we need to make sure it stays that way. George Washington still lives, and those rednecks have him, and it seems they have help. If they manage to find Zielinski and get their belts fixed, well, what if we get to Zielinski first? He's probably not built the things yet. It was only our money that allowed him to in the first place. But what if we can get him to make more batteries? We can go back and finish the job. Nah, we just take him out. Then he can't fix their belts. No way they'll figure it out. Sure, that makes sense. But we'll most likely need money whichever route we go. You think we have money in this timeline? Only one way to find out, Alan said as he searched their names online. Bingo, here we are. Not quite what we had in America, but not bad. We're still located in California, and we're worth about half what we were, but that's still enough to be comfortable. Great. We have money, but we have no valid ID on us to prove who we are. How do you suppose we get access? That shouldn't be too hard. We call the office and say we've been mugged, lost everything. We need replacement identification and bank cards. Hopefully that works. If we're still halfway well known here, just stopping at a local police station should do the trick. We'll need money and passports. Hopefully we have passports, if passports are needed in this time. I can't imagine we wouldn't have them. But we don't need to jump back anywhere. All we have to do is get to Zielinski before those hicks do. We don't have to chase our quarry. They'll come straight to us. Earl, Clyde, and Jenny walked into the library, pushing George in a stroller. They were looking for the computers, but their progress was halted every few feet by women who could not resist the urge to say hello to a baby, especially one so agreeable as George was at the moment. Earl looked across the room and spotted the computers, and at the same time spotted Richard and Alan walking toward the library exit. He grabbed the stroller and pushed it behind a bookshelf and waited for the Powers brothers to exit the library. This time they weren't seen, and when he was sure the brothers were exiting, he came from behind the bookshelf and made his way to the row of public computers. Earl sat down at a computer, but was soon lost, as it was completely unfamiliar. He stared at the screen for a moment, and Jenny came to his rescue. "You never used a computer before?" "I have a laptop, but this one's different. I ain't never seen one like this." "Well, I suppose they developed differently in your time. Let me sit down." Jenny showed them the basics of navigating the operating system and getting online, and the more she showed him, the more it made sense. Like shooting a gun, he thought. There were all different kinds, but the basics were the same. She looked up both of them, and it didn't take long. "You both still live in Harrison, apparently, only 2 streets apart. Here's a listing for Earl Grant on Poplar Street, and a listing for Clyde and Marlene Jackson on Walnut." "Oh, Clyde, you didn't say you were married." "I didn't know I was. I had a thing for Marlene, but she married another dude." "Apparently not here." "Well, do those addresses look familiar?" "They're not the same. Better write them down." "You think we need to go there?" Clyde asked. "What do you mean?" "Well, what if we go to the cops? Say we was here on vacation and got robbed, lost our wallets." "That might work, if you could prove some way who you are," said Jenny. "They'd probably ask for your national insurance number. I don't suppose you know that." "What's a national insurance number?" "All Brits have one. If you know it, they could look it up and identify you. It might get you another copy of a driving license, and you could replace your bank cards, if your bank has a branch here. But the passport might be another issue. It could take some time. Do you think you have passports at your house?" "I got no idea. I got an American one, but not in this time, and that wouldn't do me no good here if I had it. You think they could look up if I have one? If I don't order one and wait?" "That might work, but we need your national insurance number before we can go anywhere." "Well, getting that ain't gonna be easy. Don't know the number." "Your wife would know it." "You think I can just call her up and get it?" "It's either that or travel there." "You got phone numbers on that listing?" "There's one number there. You want to try to call it?" "Yep, let's try that." Jenny pulled a phone out of her purse and handed it to Clyde. "Here, you can use my mobile." He looked at the phone, different from any cell phone he had ever seen, but similar enough, and he dialed the number on the computer screen. 4 rings and it went to voicemail. "This is Clyde. Guess I missed you. You know the drill. Tell me who you are and I'll get back to you." "Well, dang," he said. "That's my number. Got a voicemail." "Can't leave myself a voicemail." "We can use that," Jenny said. "We just do a search on your phone number and we'll get the carrier. Then we just go to a phone store and get you a new phone." "What good will that do?" "You have mobile phones in your time?" "Clyde, you had an iPhone, right? You know how you set your contacts on your phone and they'd show up on your computer, and it used to confuse you because they were in a cloud?" "They got a cloud here?" "We don't call it a cloud," Jenny said, "but it's the same thing. Contacts are saved on a server with your provider. You go to get a new phone, they'll restore your contacts and your email." She punched a number into a search, and within a minute came up with the carrier name. "You're with Tesco Mobile. They have an office not even a mile from here." Jenny packed George into the stroller and said, "You guys sit tight a second. I have to use the bathroom." "I see you checking her out," Clyde said when she was out of earshot. "What?" "Ain't checking out no books." "That's not what I meant." "She kinda cute." "Haven't noticed." "Yeah, right, you ain't fooling nobody." "Blondes were never my thing." "How about Annie Wilson? She was a blonde." "Man, that was 10 years ago." "So, Jenny looks kinda like her, only prettier." "You're not supposed to notice. You're married, remember?" "Yeah, Marlene. Wonder how long we've been hitched." "How long ago she married that other dude?" 8 years ago, I reckon." "Well, there you go. You've been married 8 years. Man, you might have a kid." "Wife and a kid here. We still got a job to do, but man, me and Marlene, you and Jenny, that couldn't be so bad." "Clyde, this ain't the real world." "Seems real enough." "Nah, this one's not the one that was supposed to be." "Yeah, but you're still checking her out. Be blind not to look, buddy." Earl had no reply, but the red color rising in his cheeks was all the reply Clyde needed. They made the short drive to the Tesco mobile office, and Clyde went to the counter, while Earl walked around looking at the phones. They looked familiar, but not familiar. The same assortment of smartphones he was used to seeing, but with all different brand names. "So, you and Clyde are best friends?" Jenny asked. "You could say that. We've known each other since we were kids." "What do you do for a living? Or what did you do before all this happened?" "We have a small garage, repair cars and trucks and farm equipment." "You must be doing well." It pays the bills, and we got good dudes working for us. Don't have to be there every day, but we don't like to take much time off. I don't like the office part of it. I want to hire someone to do that so I can fix things. I work good with my hands, not so much with the other stuff." "Other stuff?" "Yeah, all that paperwork and junk. The other stuff needs to be done when you have a business. Ain't got much patience for it." Clyde gave the store clerk his mobile number and told him the phone had been stolen. "So what kind of phone do you want, Mr. Jackson?" asked the clerk. "Yes, give me the same thing I had before." "Okay, give me a sec." The clerk came back with the phone and took it out of the box. "You want your contacts and emails set up?" "Yeah, that'll work." It took the clerk a couple minutes to activate the phone and set up the contacts and email, and he handed the new phone to Clyde. "Here you go, sir. All set up." "How much do I owe you?" "Nothing. You had insurance on the phone." "Well, good thing I had that." Clyde joined Earl and Jenny sitting down on a bench outside the store. "Got me a new phone. Don't know how much to use it." Jenny took the phone and showed Clyde the basics, pulling up the contacts and showing him how to access his email. Clyde gave Earl his number from the contacts and said, "Maybe you can see about getting you one too." Clyde opened the email app and was waiting on the messages to download, which appeared to be a lot. When they were done, he noticed a message had come from Marlene only 10 minutes ago. He opened it and read, "Hi, honey. Billy and me have been having a ball. We went to the beach today, and he got so many shells. You should see them. We ate at this charming little restaurant right by the beach. The fish was so good. You would love it. Uncle Jake is taking us out on his boat tomorrow. Billy is so excited. I'm afraid he won't sleep a wink tonight. Good luck on your hunting trip. Tell Earl I said hi. We should be home by Friday. If you get back before then, I left some things at the dry cleaner. Be a dear and pick them up for me, okay? Love, Marlene." Clyde read the email again and was speechless. Marlene had an Uncle Jake who lived down in Florida and was a deep-sea fisherman. Apparently that much hadn't changed. Billy. Apparently he had a son named Billy. Must be 6 or 7 years old by now. So Marlene didn't marry Joe. What did she look like now? What did his son look like? Marlene was the love of his life. After she married Joe, Clyde never even considered dating anyone else. He had a crush on her since they were in third grade. Had a few dates with her over the years, but she picked Joe and that was that. Or was it? He had a son here. He was sitting there going through a confusing mix of emotions until he was aware someone was talking to him. Earth to Clyde, come back to us, buddy, Earl was saying. Take a look at this, Clyde said as he handed Earl his phone. Look at that email. Earl read it again, and said, well, congratulations, I think. I don't know what to think. I have a son named Billy. Well, mine's not as complicated. I just got dumped. Huh? Yeah. I've been dating Annie, and this time she sent me a text. Dumped my butt with a text. Just half an hour ago. Why'd she do that? How in hell would I know? I didn't even know we were dating until now. Men never know when they're wrong, Jenny said. Well, I got an excuse here. We not been dating in my time. Did about 10 years ago, but it didn't last. You must have done something for her to leave. Check your email. I didn't think about that. Wait a sec. And a minute later, yep, that would do it. What did you do? Clyde asked. Went on a hunting trip with you. Her cousin got married yesterday and I went hunting with you. She wanted me to go with her. So she wanted you to attend a wedding with her and you went hunting instead? Jenny asked. She must have been serious. Earl must have been a doofus, Clyde said. Wonder how our hunting trip is going. Who knows, Earl said. We're supposed to be in Pennsylvania. Looks like someone texted me, Clyde said. It's Mac Johnson. Seems like he's still our neighbor. He's in my house to feed my cats. Wants to know what food to give them. When did I get cats? He texted back. I'm sure the dry food will be okay. Earl and me lost our wallets. Need my NIN to get new ID and stuff. The reply came back. You don't know your NIN? Don't have it memorized? Hold on a sec. Got a tax letter lying here next to your Barclays statement. Shouldn't leave those lying around. He included the number and another message. Headed to Earl's to feed his dog. Does he need his NIN too? Yep. You see my passport? Hold on. Got your passport here. You need it? Might need it. Earl's too if you can find it. 10 minutes later, Earl's phone buzzed with a text including his NIN and another text. Got your passports. You need them for something? Yep, if it's not too much trouble. Want me to overnight them to you? That would be great. Okay, what address? Jenny, what's your address? Earl said. Jenny gave him her address and he texted that to Mac. Thought you were in Pennsylvania. Long story. Anything to do with the passports? Maybe. Tell me when you get back. Okay. Wow, you text in complete sentences. Who does that these days? Jenny asked. We're adults, not teenagers, Earl said. Well, you guys are in business. We can hit the DVLA on the way home. DVLA? You can get a new driving license there. A lot of good that'll do me. Y'all drive on the wrong side of the road. You drive on the right side? Yeah, and the steering wheel's on the left. Well, that's weird. Earl smiled. Who you calling weird, lady? You're both kind of weird in a good sort of way, she said, smiling back. Mac said I had a Barclays statement. What's that? Clyde asked. That's a bank. You must bank with them. Never heard of them. I heard of them, Earl said. ESPN had soccer highlights on once. Talked about the Barclays Premier League. Soccer? Jenny asked. Yeah, it's a sport in our time. Guys run up and down a field trying to kick a ball into a net. We have that. It's called football. We have football too, but it's different. Earl, you dummy. English folk call soccer football in our time too, Clyde said. I forgot about that. What do they call our football then? It might not have that here. Maybe not. Shame. There's only one kind of football here, Jenny said. There are a few teams here, but most are still in England. The Losantiville Tigers won a league last year. It was a big deal. First time a team from the colonies ever won it. That's pretty cool. Well, guys, we want to finish our errands and go back to the house or sit here chatting all afternoon? Well, I hope you enjoyed Chapter 9. If so, please like and subscribe. If you want information about my other work, you can check out the links in the description below. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.